Then he continues, he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. So see here again, why doesn't this person keep God's commandments? Why doesn't this person obey God? Because the love of God hasn't been perfected in that person. The person who says he loves God but doesn't keep God's commandments is a liar. If he loved God, he would keep his commandments. Like, what kind of love is this? Imagine someone coming to you and saying, I love you. And then they go and whenever you tell them to do something, they don't want to do it. And they're always sinning against you, and they're always making fun of you, and they're attacking you and doing this. And then they come and say, I love you. You would say, no, you don't love me. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, don't sin against me. That's what he's saying. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Jesus said, he that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. He that loveth me not keepeth not my commandments. 1 John 5 says, and this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So it's very important. If we want to love God, if we want to show our love to God, if we want to show our love to Christ, we need to keep his commandments, and we need to do what he tells us to do. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Brethren, what is this commandment? What commandment does he want us to keep? It's very important. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby we know that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him, ought himself also to walk, even as he walks. So this is very simple. It's like, understand this. What he's trying to say, you're saying that you're a Christian, that you believe in Jesus Christ, and that you abide in Jesus Christ, but you are living in sin, and you are committing acts of sin. He's saying, no, he that saith he abideth in him, ought himself also to walk, even as he walked. Like we in chapter 3 said, in him is no sin. Christ does not commit sin. Christ is God, and God is holy, and he cannot commit sin. So a person says he abides in Christ, but he is committing sin. Does that mean that Christ is committing sin through him? Of course not. That means the person is not abiding in Jesus Christ. If he was abiding in Jesus Christ, he would not be committing sin. The Apostle Paul said, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one to another, that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. So a person who does good works because he is led of the Spirit is not under the law. The Spirit is directing him, and the Spirit is living inside of him. But we need to walk in the Spirit. If we walk in the Spirit, we will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. But why are we fulfilling the lust of the flesh? Because we are not walking in the Spirit. The Spirit is Christ. God sent the Spirit of his Son inside of us, and Christ lives inside of us, and we need to walk in the Spirit. And when we walk in the Spirit, we won't commit sin. That's what he's saying. He that saith he abideth in him, ought himself also to walk, even as he walked. He's saying Christ abides in me, and Christ lives inside of me, but I'm committing sin? No, Christ does not commit sin. And if we abide in Christ, he will direct us and lead us into holiness.